My name is Dagmara Bożek-Andryszczak, and I'm a specialist at EDU-ARCTIC project from Institute of Geophysics, Polish Academy of Sciences. And today I will tell you a little bit about what is citizen science and what it is used for. We have only one school. Hello, hi there. I'm very happy that you are here, and I hope that our today's material will be useful for you. We start from a little bit of history, but it would be only a short info, because when we are thinking about the citizen science, we have at first the historical approach. What does that mean? It is connected with the second half of the 19th century because it was represented by amateur scientists. Because of the lack of scientific institutions that were available for everybody, because in the 19th century, the universities, the schools, the whole system of education were different in many countries and not available, unfortunately, for all the citizens. Yes, it was connected with also the lack of public access to education. And when we are discussing about the amateur scientists, very often their findings were ignored by the scientists that worked for formal, regular scientific institutions. So the importance of these studies was not so serious for the rest of the scientific world. For example, the amateur scientists was such kind of big, huge scientists like Charles Darwin, for example, and in that historical approach, the citizen science term is connected with those characteristics. But now we have as well the contemporary approach, and it is a little bit different because the whole system of education has changed in the last time, let's say, and from the second half of the 19th century. The first mentions about citizen science we have, for example, in the 70s or in 80s, where there were published some papers where the term citizen science is present. For example, that was a publication of Joe Primack and Frank von Hippel, or that was Canadian Broadcasting Corporation. But it's hard to say what paper was the first, but 70s, 80s, there are the time period when the citizen science and a contemporary approach is more and more visible. Okay, so it was connected with the term of democratization of science. It means that the science is available for everybody. The educational system has changed rapidly, and it means that many people can study, can educate, and the education is freely available for the citizens. And the second very important factor is that science should illustrate human needs. So it means that the science is not a pure art for itself. It means that it should find the answer for very important questions for the whole world. And of course, as a result, the citizens should participate in the whole research process to monitor it, to understand it well, and to educate, of course, and to have an opportunity to participate in self-development. 90s, it is a very big, very important period in the history of citizen science because we have a rapid development of the term. and it means that it is very popular now and more understandable and acceptable in modern societies. Okay, here we have a couple of links to some projects from the area of citizen science. I will send you it later on after our presentation. And fortunately, there are subtitles to that video because I realized that we have a problem with the audio during our webinars. Then the couple of definitions, because when we are thinking about the citizen science, we have the opposition between scientists and citizen scientists. Citizen scientists are the people that are not real scientists, that they are not working for scientific institutions, organizations, they are not professors, the scientists working at laboratories. They are regular scientists involved in some scientific projects that cooperate with the scientists. So it's the first one. The second one is the volunteers, because to participate in the citizen science projects, you do it in your free time. It is that your hobby. It's kind of interest. You would like to do it, and it's like a voluntary job, but it's a form of voluntary job, let's say. The crowdsourcing, it is also the term that will describe the definition, because it means that many people from the society are involved in that kind of projects. It is very similar to the term like outsourcing, that we are looking for, the scientists are looking for the external resources to help them to do their job. Citizen science, of course, it's one of the terms that we used for describing the phenomenon, or open science or open education. It means that it is accessible for everybody. And crowdfunding, because very often citizen scientists are looking for some funds to organize their own projects, and they can do it using crowdfunding when the others would like to donate interesting scientific projects, and they do it using some online platforms for that aim. What is not citizen science? It's not a community project. I decided to present it because some of my colleagues thought that citizen science is like community projects, for example, for seniors, from children, from poor families, or so on. It's not also the job offers at some scientific projects. It's not like this, because if you work for or involved in a professional way in a scientific project, it means that you are an employee. You are rather a volunteer, as I have said it earlier. It's not also a voluntary service. Of course, you are a volunteer to be a scientific as citizen scientist, but it's not in an organization like voluntary service. Why we need citizen science? Because, as I said, it is kind of cooperation between scientists and the citizens. The citizens, the scientific, the citizen scientists are helping with processing a lot of data, especially when we have very long-term projects. We have a lot of data to be collected, to be processed, and we need external resources. I said about the crowdfunding and the crowdsourcing. It's of course a way of promoting science, because people become more and more aware of the important role that plays the scientist in a modern world, modern societies. It's also the question about artificial intelligence, because we now we know that, for now of course, it cannot replace the human brain. So the scientists need the citizens to help them to process or to collect the data. Non-professionals ask different questions than the professionals, because when we are involved in a big project, we think in a special one way, and very often we can't observe the different solutions. And when we have a new people in the project, new people in the company, in an organization, there are still different points of view, and it is very valuable for the whole project. Forms of citizen science might be online when we, for example, segregating data, collecting them, we mark some objects on photos, or the forms might be offline when we participate in competitions, in some projects, when we are physically collecting some objects from area that is described in the project. We create tools or take pictures of some objects, and very often those forms are mixed because we can collecting data in the field during some field works, and after that we process them using internet or using some online tools. We have the European Citizen Science Association. It's interesting because it indicates that the topic of citizen science is more and more well known in the scientific world, and people who are in charge feel that it is important to emphasize that citizen science might be a good solution to promote science, to build the awareness of science in modern societies. That organization was established in July 2013 during the European Union Green Week in Brussels. That was the big international conference where some questions concerning the environment issues were discussed. Now we have more than 200 members, individual ones, and the let's say companies, organizations from 28 countries, not from only the European Union. And that association prepared very interesting paper that is called 10 Principles of Citizen Science, and it was prepared in 2015 during the conference in Barcelona. And I would like to go through very quickly those 10 principles. So the first one, and I think the main is that citizens might be involved because they have an opportunity to obtain new knowledge. Those activities made by the citizen scientists means real scientific results. So it's not a game, it's not, I don't know, something not serious. It is serious. There are many benefits for scientists because they have publications, they have papers presenting their findings, and the citizens because they might an opportunity to acquire knowledge. Citizen scientists participate in various stages of the research process. So it doesn't mean that they only collect the data. They might process it. They might organize some small projects in that big one program. They might be responsible for finding the volunteers for participation in the project. So there are a lot of stages of the project that the citizen scientists might be involved in. Researchers received feedback on the data they collect. So it's not like I said, pure art, that the science only for science. We have the impact on the society and the feedback. Citizen science is the science. is a serious stuff, and it is connected with the term of democratization of science. The data is accessible to the rest of the people. They are public. The contribution of citizen scientists is noted in the publications and projects. They are co-authors, people that cooperate during the whole process of special project. Citizen science programs are evaluated in terms of scientific results. And the last one, it is a more formal one concerning the law issues. The organizers of such projects are guided by the law and environmental protection. And here is the example of one of the projects that is conducted by that association I have mentioned before. It is called the Distributed Network for Odor Sensing, Empowerment and Sustainability. And it is kind of monitoring the smells, the odors around us, and to research what kind of substances those odors and smells are containing. Are they harmful, for example, or not? And the project the duration of the project is 3 years, and 10 countries, not only from European Union, participate in that project. And it is founded. It is the finances to carry out that project come from the very big program that is called Horizon 2020, and it is the biggest program in European Union for promoting, for supporting science and innovation. I also decided to present one of the local projects from my country, from Kraków, my hometown. We have a special institution that is called Provincial Inspectorate of Environmental Protection in Kraków. And the aim of that institution is to monitor the quality of the air in Kraków, in the whole Małopolska region, in the southern part of Poland, because to be honest, during the autumn and the winter time, the air here is unfortunately very polluted. So it is important to collect the data to inform the society about the quality of the air, and they can somehow use, for example, some masks on the street, or avoid walking with the children in the free time when the levels of the air pollution are very high. And in the whole city region area, we have 7 air quality measurement stations. They are collecting data and automatically send it to the server. From there, they are distributed to some devices like this one on the next photo, to show the results, to show the information concerning the air quality. It is the display, one of the big ones that are located in the city center, where we have the actual the information concerning the air quality in a special time, in one moment. For example, it is in a real-time data that we can observe, that we can read on the display. It is important that those displays were designed thanks to some finances from citizen budget. Because here in Kraków, from, I don't know, couple of years, we have something that is called citizen budget, and it means that we have a special amount of money for, let's say, citizens to vote for their own projects. And somebody decided to prepare the project concerning location of some displays like this in the city center, and many people vote for it, so that's why now we have such kind of devices, very useful ones, I think. The second thing is the application. It's in Polish, but it's also a very good example of the awareness in the society about the science, because thanks to the science we can monitor the quality of air, but the awareness is that, okay, when we have those data, we need to use that knowledge somehow. So when we know that thanks to the science, thanks to the scientists, somebody found out that the quality of air is bad, so let's do something with it. Like, for example, we can prepare an application that is informing in a real time about the pollutions. And it is called Smog. It's like dragon, because the symbol of Krakow is a dragon. It is connected with a legend, so that's why there is a dragon in the name of that application. And the data are available for Krakow, for my city, and now for the southern part of Poland, because they are developing the application. Main features of citizen science projects are real research questions, and of course looking for the answer. The data are processed in a scientific way, not in a unprofessional, let's say. Neither financial nor laboratory facilities are needed. The more participants, the more exact data. So it is good to have many volunteers involved in citizen science projects. Long-term observations are very important, because only thanks to that kind of observations we obtain very detailed data. And the results are public, accessible via internet. The projects from citizen science area might be short-term, like this one. It is the one local project that was carried out in Poland, in the, let's say, central part of my country. And as you can see, it was conducted from January to March 2014. The organizers were Forest Research Institute and the Center of Geohistory Foundation. And the aim of that project was to involve the pupils, the students from the local schools, to participate, to collect data. And they used the method of aerial laser scanning of the special area that was indicated and described in the project. And they prepared the photos in a special way, published them in the internet, and asked the students to mark a special place on the map where they thought might be some archaeological objects, like buildings and so on, because it was the history project, let's say. And they marked that old buildings, and during that 3-month period, and thanks to them, interesting objects were revealed in the area. We have also long-term projects, and they are more valuable, but it doesn't mean that they are better, because it depends on the topic. Because that project that I would like to discuss about, it is concerning plastic pollution. So in that terms, long-term project is better than the short-term one. So it is held by the Institute of Oceanography, Polish Academy of Sciences. Unfortunately, it is available only in Polish, but it is a good example of citizen science project, because that English topic of that project is plastic, an unknown threat on the coast. From the EDU-ARCTIC webinars, we know that plastic, and especially microplastic, is a very huge threat to our environment. So that's why the scientists from the institute decided to invite the citizens to monitor the coast, the Polish coast on the Baltic Sea. On the left side, you have the chart where there is an example of monitoring or collecting the data, because you need to monitor the one area on the beach and collecting the objects, the plastic ones. And in the table, you write down the information, what kind of objects you have found. For example, plastic bottles, plastic bags, or so on. And of course, when you collect it, when you describe it, you send the data to the Institute of Oceanography. And there is the international project that is called Old Weather. It is finished now, and they started the new project, but I would like to focus on the Old Weather because it's very interesting. The organizers are Met Office and National Air and Oceanic Administration. They decided to obtain the data, meteorological data, from the 19th century. But how we can do this? Because that times there were no system of meteorological stations around the world. Maybe there are some local activities to monitor the climate, to monitor the weather, but it was not a system. So how to find the data concerning that time? And the scientists decided that all the information is included into the old book logs from the old ships. But at that time, people who observed the weather and the meteorological conditions on the ship write it down using hands, not computers. So it means that it is very difficult to read it without human help. So the organizers of the project decided to spread the information among the citizens that there is a very interesting project to which aim is to reveal the old meteorological data by reading the pages from the old logbooks. And the answer was very big. People are very interested in that topic. So from 2012, when the project has started, more than 1 million logbooks pages were read and written down, and the information were written down using computer systems. So now, as I said, the project is finished, but the data are collected, and now they are processed in a scientific, as I said, way. Okay, and now here we are going to the end of my presentation. We have the Zooniverse platform. There is zooniverse.org. It is a platform with many projects from the area of citizen science. So it is worth to see what's interesting in it. It is available from 2007, but the first name of the platform was Galaxy Zoo, and the only aim of it was to classify the galaxies. But from year by year, the owners of the domain decided to develop more and more the project, the whole platform, and to invite the other organizations, institutions, or private scientists to inform, to publish their own projects to look for the citizen scientists. And now we have 89 projects from all the world, so it's good to look through the platform and find something interesting for you, because almost all of the activities you can do online, and it takes you a couple of minutes every day only. Here is the example of the project that is called, that was the Galaxy Zoo, the first project that was published using the platform, and it was translated into Polish, because we have a group of very active Polish scientists that decided to promote the project the project around the Polish citizens, because unfortunately the whole platform is in English version, so it means that they might be not freely accessible to everybody, because yes, I know that English is worldwide spoken language, but it's not, maybe not everybody speaks it fluently. So they decided to make it closer to the Polish students, Polish citizen scientists, and it was a very big success, because in 2014 Polish media, mass media, informed that in Zooniverse platform are registered 10,000 of Polish citizens. So it means it is a very good example of the well-conducted citizen science project, because it means when we prepare a project that is understandable for the citizens, and it is the scientific project, it means that they are be more involved in that project. So, of course, that kind of examples make the organizers of the platform think that it is a good idea to translate it in other languages. I found on the special forum an information that they are going to do it. It's hard to say when exactly, but they encourage the scientists from the many countries to translate the chosen projects into their own languages, because it will make them more accessible to the rest of the world. And in the end, I would like to just remind you that at EDU-ARCTIC project, we have as well our own monitoring system. So if you still are not involved in it, please think about it. Full information concerning the monitoring system at EDU-ARCTIC project you will find on our website. And if you will have any question concerning the topic of monitoring or the citizen science as well, just let me know and write to me using my email address.